Hey, Coach, so glad you found us on YouTube. Couple things. First of all, make sure you go over and check out teachhoops.com for coaches who want to get better. Let me help you put banners and all those things in the gym. It's a great community. We do one-on-one calls, office hours. There's nothing like it. And you get my personal email address. There's a roadmap in there to help you become a better basketball coach. Also, go over and subscribe and like. Have a great day.
All right, welcome to High School Hoops. Coach today is going to talk to us about practice planning. I'm super excited about this. It's dinner time too, so I'm super hungry. We do these in batches. But before I do that, I'd like to give a big shout out to our two sponsors. First of all, Teachhoops.com for coaches who want to get better. The one-stop shop for basketball coaches. Go over and check it out. The only one run by an actual basketball coach. All the other ones, every other site like that's run by former coaches or college coaches. I'm in the war zone, baby. The kids are up in my room asking for food during the middle of the day. And then also go over and check out Dr. Dish, the #1 shooting machine on the market, #1 selling one too. Don't normally say that, but it is in the world, I think. Mention High School Hoops, and they'll take really good care of you. All right, so we're going to talk practice planning. People always ask about practice planning. So before we dive into this, how has your practice planning changed and how has it stayed the same over the years?
All right. Well, when I first started, my practices were planned out by the minute. And I was very ADHD about like, hey, we got 10 minutes to cover this, 10 minutes to cover this, you get a 1-minute water break, you get and if we didn't
Which isn't necessarily a bad thing early. Like lesson planning from a teaching standpoint, not necessarily a bad thing to
and that's where I got my cue from was being a teacher, was being a new teacher. I want everything to be, we're doing this, then we're transitioning to this, then we're doing this. So as a coach, especially as a new coach, it gave me a sense of authority. It gave me a sense of control,
security too, a little bit.
I know what I'm doing. I
got this. Yeah.
Yeah. I know what we're moving into. Don't worry about it. So, but as I progressed and as I matured and as I got better as a coach, you have to start to feel out your practices. I think, because there'll be days where you might have a couple, real intense competitive drills, and if the kids don't bring it, and you try to drag them through that practice, it's a waste of time.
It's Madeline Hunter, baby. You got to monitor and adjust, man. You have to monitor and adjust. Madeline Hunter is like an education guru, but it's like you can't jam a circular cube into a round. It won't work, man. I'm just telling you from someone who's done it for like, and you got to bring it. You got to bring it too. But yes, I agree with that.
Yeah, and you can't come off your spot too much. If you want them to compete, if you played a soft game on Tuesday and it's Wednesday, you don't have a game coming up till Friday, you might want to have them get out there and get after it, because we can't play like that.
Right.
But there might be times where you have to come off your spot a little bit and relent and adjust. Like you were saying, it's just like teaching. There are days where there's a fire drill and the kids come in, you're like, all right, well,
I guess, yep.
We're not going to get through, scene 3 of Hamlet.
Right.
So that's been a big thing for me. And in planning my practice plan, I take that into account now, in the way that I plan it, in the way that I space it out and everything.
Is there other things that you do, how you break it up wise? Is there any, has there been pivots on any of those kind of things before? You can share your screen too. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me share the screen real quick. Screen. Is it letting me, or hold on?
It should, but that doesn't mean Coach Collins didn't. You should be able to share it. There you go.
Because I had the option before.
You should share screen. Allow all precision share screen. You should be able to do it on the bottom.
All right, let me see if I can pull up in. All right, now I gotta see.
All right. Coach Collins ain't the techiest person in the world, so we paused there for a couple minutes, and so he could share his screen. So what I see right now is your email that I sent you about the podcast tonight.
Oh yeah, hold on.
So
There we go.
you just got to
All right,
change
yeah,
the screen.
hold on.
There we go. All right.
There we go. All right. So what I have here, this is an earlier part of the year practice, beginning December. I like to number what number practice we're on. Because it gives me the ability to do that coach thing where I say, hey, we're in practice 15. Like you got to know this.
Right.
Or also at the end of the year, I like saying, hey, we got to get to, in those late games, hey, we got to win this to get to practice 52.
Right.
We're trying to get to practice
60. We want to practice tomorrow, man. I just want to practice tomorrow.
It's a huge thing.
Yeah.
Up here, I used to, when I was a younger coach, just do quotes from other people. And I felt like I lost the kids eventually. Because it was just kind of manufactured,
generic.
And they hear it all day. They're in school all day. They hear quotes from, dead white guys and poets.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like
they
hear it all day. So I try to make it real relevant. You can see this one was about, I was doing the coach, the fist with the communication. Yeah.
Yep.
So today was pride, and so everything we yesterday was fight, today was be trust. So in everything we did that day, it was about trusting your teammate to be in the right spot, trusting them to know the drill, trusting them to know the play. And you just keep hammering it. Little things for me, we're showing up. If you guys aren't showing up, we can't trust each other. Reminder about stretching. Coach, here's a good one for you. How do you feel about stretching? Do you spend practice time on it?
I do. We have pre-practice. So I was going to ask you about your pre-practice, and then I have them. So pre-practice is different things for different kids on different days. Some days we'll be working our post. Some days kids will be shooting. Anyway, so they won't all be working the way. Then we usually run a couple laps because I want to get their muscles loose, and then we do our dynamic stretch. And I have my captains lead that. So we go through that at the beginning of the year. Then usually we come in the middle and we have our discussion. So it's pre-practice, it's jog, it's dynamic stretch. So I want their muscles to be kind of loose before they do it. In the past, sometimes we've done drills. So I don't know, I might go back to that to do something and then stretch. Yes, I do believe it does. And especially a girls coach, you got to do a lot more of this because you got to worry more about those knees and those, strength of that because of their hips. But yes, I do that.
Now with the boys, what do you do about them?
And we have a quiet time. We have a minute quiet time too. We meditate. Okay. We tend to meditate at least 2 or 3 days a week where they're in a center circle and they're quiet for a minute. And my coach,
I started doing that with my boys this year.
And they love
meditating before games.
And the issue is they're high school kids. So it's like, God, go watch, Dirty Dancing, or go watch, Flash Dance, Footloose, or go. High school's hard. Go watch Mean Girls. It's hard. So they're always on. They're on for the teachers, they're on for their friends, they're always on. So I just want a minute of just no electronics, just off. Like breathe, relax, feel that. And when we don't do it, they actually get a little irritated. Like, Coach, man, we didn't do our breathing today and stuff. Because I think
before our games, I would bring our kids into our auditorium, and we would take 10 minutes, and we do certain Pilates and whatever. But like you said, just no electronics. We're not worried about anything else.
Yes.
Your girlfriends, the test you failed today.
Yes.
It doesn't matter.
Tests you have tomorrow. We're not worried about that right now. We're worried about this.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. So I do think some of that is really good.
And they buy in. They resisted.
They always buy in. We used to do yoga too. They're high school boys. They're gonna gripe about anything. I'd give them Chick-fil-A every night for dinner. They'd gripe about it anyway. Matter.
All right. So yeah, we do a quick you know, I bring them in and I just try to make it very, you know, here's the goal for today, you know, what we're looking to do. And then for myself, here's what I'll say about this before I go into it. As a younger coach, I used to post this for the kids. I used to hang it up before we go into practice, and I stopped doing it because I found that they would look at it and decide when they were going to check in and check out.
Right. And I don't want them to know. I want it to be a little bit of a surprise. Yes.
Yep.
And I'm looking at yours. I might go from the Laker drill to Clipper closeouts. I might change things midway through practice because holy crap, we need to go from that to that or whatever.
Yeah, or like we're not bringing it right now.
Right.
So like we need to really ramp it up and do something different.
And then all of a sudden, if you change what they think you're going to do, yes, I know.
And then it adds a little bit of like you know, you're not a credible, you know, this isn't a credible practice plan because you went out of order. Because they think this is it. They think this is what we're doing for the day. So I stopped sharing it with them. I obviously give it to my assistant. I share it with him during the day.
When do you do your practice plan? That's always a good question people ask me.
Hopefully my admin won't ever listen or see this. But I do it. I try during my preps because there will be times I'll have something the night before. But there'll be times during the day where I'll find myself watching film or I'll think of something during the day where I'm like, you know what? Like we really need to do this. And I like to be fresh. So I'll throw things in or I'll take things out during the day just on how I'm feeling. Like, because, you know, I'm a human too. I might feel like, hey, I'm really upset with how we played last night now.
Right. I used to do it the night before, and then I came across your kind of theory that I needed to at least do it the next morning because I need to think about it.
Yeah, because the way I feel the night before and the way I feel during the day can sometimes be very different.
Right. And it's like maybe I can't sleep and I get up and watch some film, or I watch it in the morning, or I'm watching it at lunch. It's like, oh crud, we weren't closing out at all. I got to put some closeout drills in, or something like that. I think that's where the pivots come. You got to be willing to adjust.
Yeah. This is where I used to get myself into a lot of trouble with the timing. Whoops, I keep going that. I used to be really attached to this. Like, I'm only going to go 10 minutes. I'm only going to go 8. I'm only going to go 12. And what I found was like, hey, if we're really competing during 4-man touch the line, I'm not coming out of that. We're gonna keep going. You know, as long as they're doing the things that we're supposed to be doing, and they're talking and they're communicating and doing all the things that I'm saying on the focus, we're gonna keep going because I wanna get them into the really good habits of that drill. Why would I cut it short to go into something else when we're really getting after it and picking up good habits? So I got away from the timing as much, and then I started adding in asterisks for things that we can cut out that day. So like if we closed out well the night before, but didn't play great transition, I'll stick with 4-man touch the line a little bit longer. But if this looks like trash, we'll move out of it in 10 minutes. And again, that's just being adaptive.
Thing is, I'll always circle back to, I'll dump and you know, it's like a classroom. It's like, they ain't getting this. I'm going to dump it. I'll come back to it later. Just because they're not understanding. It's like, okay, maybe it's me. Maybe it's how I'm doing it. We're going to leave this and come back and do something else. I know. Part of that's being a teacher. Yeah.
Yeah. That is a lot of being a teacher, I guess, because, you know, you're just reading the room. And, well, I used to do stand up too. So I was constantly reading the room. And when I was bombing, I knew it. So.
Yes. It's a math problem. You just got to be willing to stand up there long enough to bomb to get the good jokes. And then, you just got to be willing to bomb forever until you get 10-minute sets. Then you can just set. Yeah.
One of the things I always, when I was younger, I just used to have these two columns, the time and the drill. I think this might be the most important one, the focus. Because as a coach, what am I looking to get? Why am I running these drills just to kill time? No, I'm running each one to get something out of it. You know, with like our 4-man touch the line, we weren't talking obviously the day before this. Like, talk, and that'll be what I focus on the entire time. You know, it's not going to be our help defense. We were good in help. You know, obviously if they're not doing it, we'll go into that. But our talking was terrible. So like, let's get into that. Trust our teammates to be back with us, and if they're not, get after them. Like, that's our focus right now. So you need to get after your teammates if they're not hustling as hard as you are. So having that focus as a coach,
I think
especially as a younger coach.
So the practice plan you're showing, you don't have any courts or diagrams. Do you sketch things in the back? How do you do that? I mean, I'm old. I have to sketch things out. It's like, oh crap, I want to do this.
Well, I heard you the other day. You also handwrite too, right?
I do. I use Practice Planner Live a little bit, but I like to write it. I like to actually, yes, it's like taking notes. I like writing, and then because then I can erase, and then I can add, and then I can do arrows, because it's a living document for me. If you looked at my practice plan, you might be able to read it, but it would be, here's the way it started and here's the way it ended, because I'm scribbling things, I'm making notes, and it's like, you know, Braden's not boxing out, blah, blah, blah. We got to deal with this tomorrow. So then I'm looking at that the next day. I'm always kind of using it. It's always tucked in the back of my thing, but I always have something to write with. So I just think it's a living document for me. You know, and I'll go back and look at previous years, but every year is so different.
And it's so you have individual stuff as well for kids individually that you're looking to get out of practice.
I do. And the thing, and I notice things during practice, and the only way I'm going to remember them is I write them on my practice plan. It's like, oh man, our transition defense was not very good. We got to work on this. And if for some reason I got a little window, I'll throw it in. If not, I'll circle it back, and we have to do that for tomorrow. So I'm always seeing stuff, because it's a classroom. It's like, Johnny ain't getting this. I got to do this, or blah, blah, blah. It's like, or we spent too much time on this. I got to get rid of that.
Yeah, and then even from a personal level, like, why is so-and-so, why is he checked out for the last 2 days?
Right. And then I'll do a check-in. It's like, well, and then I find out I had a couple of those this year. It's like, so-and-so's checked out or cranky, or blah, blah, blah. Why are they cranky? Well, some stuff was going on at home. It's like, well, I didn't know that. So I have to, you know,
or they weren't in the game down the stretch 2 games ago, and they're upset about it now. And it's like, see, those are the things that's the written stuff I do with my assistant before.
Right.
I'll hand him a little thing and be like, hey, so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so, this is for today. This is what you need to pay attention to. Like, I need you to find out. They're kind of like my moles a little bit.
Right.
You know?
They are.
Like, and again, we keep talking about the girls and the boys. With the girls, that's very important.
Right. Oh yeah.
All
right. Anything else, Coach?
No, that's about it. I really feel like for new coaches,
what do you think the big thing is for new coaches?
It's having the focus. I'm not just running drills. What am I looking to get out of each drill today?
Okay. Yeah. So what's your objective?
The objective, exactly. And again, it comes back to being a teacher. It's tough. Yeah.
What's your objective? And again, you know, I love doing small sided games. I love doing individual. It's like, but as high school coaches, you see all these gurus out there. It's just sometimes we just don't have the time. Like, it's like I feel like I'm not doing. It's like I gotta keep telling myself I don't have all the time to do that, and to work on the 17 reads off a ball screen. Wish I did, but I don't.
Yeah.
We're just gonna switch it. So
it's timing and focus.
It is,
and that'll keep you organized, and will keep the kids on pace, and we're good.
I agree. All right, thanks, Coach.
Hey, Coach. So glad you enjoyed the video. Subscribe and like. before you leave. And also go over and check out teachhoops.com for coaches who want to get better. It's got everything and a roadmap for you to become a better basketball coach. So go over and check it out. And let's head back to the next video, wherever that would be.